This boy was only 17 years old when he became famous. He was not only famous, he was a global superstar. He blew up to the entire world. His songs were #1 on the Billboard. He won awards. He worked with the likes of Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, and many top celebrities in the industry. But not long after the fame and his wins, he turned to crime. And he was not alone in this crime. He was committing multiple crimes and fraud with his mother. This action will not only end his music career, but will also send him to jail. This is the sad story of Sean Kingston, a boy who rose from nothing to something, then ruined everything he ever worked for. My name is Prince Theophilus, and this is Fame and Fallout. To understand the story of Sean Kingston, let's go back to the very beginning. He was born Keishan Paul Anderson in Miami, Florida in the year 1990. While growing up, his father was not always around. His mother, Janice Turner, a Jamaican woman, tried her best to survive in a system that eats poor people alive. She was working 2 to 3 jobs, struggling, fighting, trying not to break, trying not to cry in front of her child. But the truth was, life was beating her down. The bills were high, the rent was due, and her little boy was growing up very fast. Imagine growing up in a house where every morning your mother is praying that the landlord doesn't show up. Every time you hear the car horn, your heart jumps because it might be someone coming to cut the light. That was the word baby Keishan knew. That was his childhood. No peace, just stress, struggle, and survival. At some point, his mother became too tired and so desperate that he made a decision that would change his life forever. By the time Sean Kingston was 6 years old, he put him in a plane and sent him to Jamaica. Jamaica is a beautiful country, a place where music is everywhere, but poverty also lived there too. And for young Keishan, life in Jamaica was not a holiday. It was all about hustling, waking up hungry, and learning how to survive without asking for help. But it was also where the music started. You see, in Jamaica, you don't have to look for music. Music will find you. Music is heard all over the streets, in churches, and in the voices of old Rasta men in dreadlocks. In the middle of all that noise, something happened. That little boy from Miami found his gifts, his voice. A voice that could make you stop whatever you are doing and listen. He still felt alone, and that loneliness became a fire in his eyes. And he said to himself, I must escape this life. I must become something more. And that fire, that hunger, created Sean Kingston.
I own the spot. I don't gotta brag cause I own a lot. Audemars, Rolex 6, check the time.
A few years later, he returned to Miami as a teenager. At that time, the world was changing. The internet was becoming something new and a place where every young person was moving in. The first social media platform, MySpace, was blowing up. It was the first place where people can share their music, post their picture and their dreams. So Sean Kingston, still unknown, took the chance. He recorded a song from his little room titled Life is Hard. He uploaded it. He waited. People listened and people liked it. And luckily for him, people started talking about it. And one day it happened. He got lucky and a music producer named J.R. Rotten, one of the biggest names in the music industry, found his song on MySpace. This was like winning the American lottery because J.R. had worked with the likes of Rihanna, 50 Cent, and Britney Spears. When he heard the song, he said the words that changed everything. He said, this kid had something. And just like that, the poor Jamaican American boy got pulled out to the world of big money, big labels, and big stages. Sean was a rapper when JR met him. And because JR had worked with a lot of R&B artists, he groomed Sean Kingston, developed and trained him to be a pop star. In 2007, he dropped the hit single Beautiful Girls, and everything changed.
Beautiful girl, that's why it'll never work.
That song didn't just become a hit, it became a global anthem. It didn't just hit #1 spot on Billboard in the US, it also topped the chart in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Ireland, Spain, and the UK, and almost every part of the world, including Africa. He dropped his debut album the same year with hits like Take You There, Me Love. This song were played in every club, in every school, and in every event. Sean Kingston was no longer just a boy, he was now a superstar. 1 year later, his album sold over 500,000 copies. He was just 18 years old, wearing chains worth more than most people's net worth. He was flying private jets, hanging out with Justin Bieber, touring with Chris Brown, Gwen Stefani, and many other superstars. Everyone wanted a piece of him. Teenage girls screamed when he walked by. TV shows wanted him for interviews. Labels gave him checks with many zeros. His face was everywhere. His name was gold. But when Sean Kingston was having all these wins, all the accolade, his mother was behind bar for a crime. But we'll get back to that. Before we continue, my name is Prince Theophilus. I'm a music business consultant and a career coach. I help talent build solid strategies, avoid career mistakes, and grow their brand. So if you're an artist that is struggling in any area of your career, or a record label owner looking for the best marketing strategy for your artist, you can talk to me. I offer private consultation, but it's not free. All you need to do is send me a DM on Instagram with private session, and I will reply so we can get to business. So let's get back to the story. In 2009, he dropped his second album titled Tomorrow, which was co-produced by Wyclef Jean of The Refugees. That album came with a hit song titled Fire Burning. That song became his biggest song after Beautiful Girls. But even at that, the album didn't sell like the first album. That was because he changed his style of music. The album sounded more like electronic music than reggae and R&B, and the fans didn't really fuck with that album. In 2010, he started his own record label, Time Is Money, and he signed the artist to the Lens.
Put you in 7 position for 70 minutes, you get it, babe. You got a lot on your mind and I wanna ease it up and lick it.
On May 2011, Sean Kingston was seen riding a jet ski on the water with a beautiful girl sitting behind him. He was smiling, he was carefree, he was alive. Then suddenly, he had an accident. He crashed at full speed into a bridge.
After crashing his jet ski into a bridge over the holiday weekend, Kingston and his female passenger both ended up in the water.
His body flew into the water and gradually he sank, unconscious, floating, bleeding, and almost dying.
We don't know if it was a direct hit or if it was a glancing blow. They did collide with the bridge and they ended up in the water.
People screamed. A man jumped into the water to pull him out. His body was paralyzed, his eyes were closed, and his heart was almost stopping. Blood was everywhere, water was in his lung, and his jaw was broken. And one of the biggest blood vessels in his chest was torn apart. Suddenly, he started losing his breath.
He remains in a Miami hospital with a broken jaw and several other injuries.
He was quickly rushed to the hospital. The doctor performed open heart surgery, and Sean Kingston spent 23 days in the hospital. The fans cried and prayed, but eventually, he survived. In 2013, Sean Kingston dropped his third album titled Back to Life, and he featured Justin Bieber on a song titled Any Money.
You can't make up your mind.
That song was supposed to be a lead single on the Back to Life album, but one way or the other, it ended up in Justin Bieber's My World 2.0 album. But this song is going to be a tool for Sean Kingston's multiple scams later. Stay with me. On the Back to Life album, Sean Kingston featured superstars like T.I., Chris Brown, Wiz Khalifa, Busta Rhymes, and others. But even with all these big names, the album performed worse than all his albums. So basically, Sean Kingston's career was facing a huge decline. By this time, Sean Kingston was slowly drowning inside, drowning in pressure, too many expectations from fans, family, neighbors, and friends. But deep inside, Sean was lonely. The loneliness that fame hides behind photo shoots and parties. He had fans, but no peace of mind. The fans were too overwhelming for him. Depression in fame is very real and it can be very deadly because when you are famous, people think you are happy. When you are rich, people think you don't cry. For Sean Kingston, he was dying inside but nobody saw it. Not the fans, not the label, not the people closest to him. Because he was smiling, he was posting, he was winning awards, and slowly the pain began to leak out, not as tears, but as bad decisions. He released singles, did features, performed at throwback shows, and even went on tour with TLC and Shaggy. But it wasn't the same. The world had moved on. The fans had grown older. New artists had taken over. TikTok stars, YouTubers, viral sensation. Sean became a memory. People still love his songs, Beautiful Girls and the rest of the song, but they no longer care about the man behind the songs. Labels stopped calling. Producers stopped offering him beats. The love was fading. Sean Kingston wasn't Sean Kingston anymore. It was now a used to be. And that was when the worst version of him began to appear. Sean Kingston started appearing in the news for wrong reasons. First, a 19-year-old lady told the police that he was raped by Sean Kingston. She didn't just accuse Sean. She accused Sean and two of his friends. She said they took advantage of her. Sean Kingston was now being mentioned in a police report about one of the darkest crimes in America. The media exploded. Sean Kingston accused of rape. Fans were shocked. Social media didn't wait for evidence. They chose side. Some said he would never do that. Others believe he did it. Police investigated. The woman was questioned. Sean Kingston and his friends were also questioned.
That girl was in my room for 10 minutes.
That's all it took you?
10? No. Never took me. I'm Jamaican, man. I got stamina. I'm
Okay.
rude boy. I want to tell.
Calm down.
What's wrong with your boss, man? 10 minutes, man. I want to tell, man.
But then, the lady's story had inconsistencies. Her version of the event changed severally. Prosecutors said that they didn't have enough evidence to prove, so they dropped the charges.
To be honest with you, man, like, you know, when they did all the tests, they did all the they did everything, it was like, it was no criminal suit.
But does that mean he was innocent, or they just couldn't prove he was guilty? That was a question that split the media. Even though the criminal case was dropped, the woman filed a civil lawsuit asking for $5 million. Sean denied everything, claiming it was a setup, yet he paid her $100,000.
So listen, man, just give 100,000. I'm saying I just paid it off just to get it, but it's sad because anybody can go through it.
Sean Kingston had to settle out of court because he wanted people to focus on his music career instead of focusing on the scandal. Either way, the damage was done. University cancelled the shows. Brands stopped calling him. Fans look at him differently. He was now Sean Kingston, the accused. By 2016, Sean Kingston was no longer that hot new artist. Post Malone, Travis Scott and other artists were climbing the charts. Sean was stuck in the middle, not at the top, not at the bottom, and that's a dangerous spot for any celebrity. Sean wasn't getting gigs anymore. The IRS even said he was owing $20,000 in taxes and ordered him to pay immediately, but he couldn't pay, so they went after his properties. About a year later, Sean said a big lie against Justin Bieber. I don't know what came over him. He lied that Justin Bieber bought him a car worth $100,000. He said Justin Bieber gave him the car for being a good friend.
I'm gonna be honest, I got it as a gift, man.
A gift?
Yeah. Word? Yeah. You know, when you best friends with one of the biggest artists in the world, you know what I'm saying? You get all different type of gifts, you know. And this is what.
This got on the news, and Justin Bieber and the team denied buying him a car. He actually borrowed the car for an event, but this is not the first time he's going to lie with Justin Bieber's name. He's going to do worse with his name. Just stay with me. So one day, Sean Kingston walked into a jewelry store and he picked up a watch worth $225,000. He doesn't have money to pay for that watch, so he needed to switch stock the jeweler. So he told the jeweler that his best friend was Justin Bieber. He showed him his music video with Justin Bieber. He promised the jeweler that he was going to introduce him to Justin Bieber, and Justin is going to patronize him. He will also get the jeweler on Justin Bieber's red carpet. After seeing all the evidence, the jeweler believed him and he was excited. And of course, who wouldn't be excited? We are talking about Justin Bieber here. Anyways, Sean Kingston told the jeweler that he was going to pay the $285,000 through wire transfer, and he got the watch and left. The jeweler waited and waited, but he never got any alert. It was actually a fake wire transfer. Another day, Sean Kingston asked his driver to bring a jeweler into his mansion because he wanted to buy some jewelries. The jeweler got to the house and showed him all his jewelries, watches, chains, rings, and many more things, and he loved them. He wanted to buy a jewelry worth $500,000. So again, he started dropping Justin Bieber's name. He told the jeweler that he's the best friend of Justin Bieber, that he can give him a lot of opportunities. In fact, he will make Justin Bieber advertise his company for free. He told him so many lies and the jeweler was convinced. So he paid him half of the money. I told him that he was about to sell his Range Rover, that he should take it and deduct it from his tab. The Range Rover was in the name of his mother. They changed the ownership to his name, and just like that, transaction was successful. Sean told him that he was going to give him the rest of the money when he returned from his show in Jamaica. So he told him to chill in the mansion until he gets back, and Sean left and went to Jamaica. So while the jeweler was chilling in the mansion, a lady walked in and started showing people around. The jeweler was like, "What is happening here?" The lady was like, "Who are you?" Sean Kingston was supposed to leave this house by now. That was when the jeweler realized that the so-called mansion was actually an Airbnb. To make matters worse, the jeweler discovered that the Range Rover has money due on it, and the car doesn't even belong to Sean Kingston. And the entire transfer was a scam. So Sean Kingston got away with that scam because he never heard from Sean Kingston again. That was not all. Sean also bought a jewelry worth $75,000 from another jeweler in Miami. To settle up, Sean sent an employee, a woman working for him, with $24,000 in cash and another expensive watch to pay his debt. But there was still $50,000 left unpaid. Soon after, Sean's mother called the jeweler herself, assuring her that she would bring the $50,000 to her. The jeweler waited and waited. When she did not see Sean Kingston or the mother, the jeweler sent a representative to return for the cash. When they got there, Sean Kingston refused to pay. Worse, he demanded his jewelry back. The woman politely declined, but in response, Sean allegedly pointed a gun at her and threatened her. She begged and she cried, and finally, Sean Kingston gave her back her jewelry. But the damage was done. The woman went to the police and reported the matter, and Sean was in another trouble. Another day, Sean Kingston walked into a fancy club in Los Angeles called Penthouse, dressed like a king with $30,000 chain around his neck. But the wrong people were watching. Suddenly, a fight broke out. In the middle of all that, Sean Kingston was punched and robbed, and his chain was stolen away from him. Then he went online and did something. He accused the rapper The Game of setting him up. The Game, a rapper known for violence and respect, did not take it lightly with him. So he went on Instagram, called Sean Kingston names, and accused him of lying. He claimed that Sean even called him crying, begging for help to help him get the chain back. This fight escalated online with threats and insults between Sean Kingston and The Game. But Sean's fans and the label were silent. Fast forward to 2017, he got into another fight again, this time in Las Vegas during a fashion show. Migos were there. Sean Kingston had been hanging out with Soulja Boy, who had issues with Migos. They told Sean, "Come outside, let's talk like men." Sean stepped outside, but he never knew it was a trap. They jumped on him, they beat him up, and he started bleeding. Sean's best friend Bojack pulled a gun and fired into the air to stop the beating. That single gunshot landed Bojack in jail with a felony charge. Sean Kingston's name was in the news again, another trouble for him. In 2021, Sean pulled a gun at a video director and assaulted him over a minor issue. Just because the video director forgot the name of the app he wanted to use to transfer a video he needed urgently. And out of impatience, Sean started beating him up and pulled a gun at him. The video director reported him to the police. He got into another trouble again. So basically, Sean was getting into trouble from trouble to trouble, and his name was being tarnished in the media. In 2022, he dropped his fourth album titled Road to Deliverance. Of course, I guess he needed that deliverance. That album was supposed to be his comeback album, but I guess the fans were tired of so many scandals. The fans ignored him and he couldn't make it back to limelight, but he needed money to fund his lifestyle. Sean Kingston wasn't done with scamming yet. In 2023, Sean Kingston ordered 232-inch LED TV worth $150,000. Now, he was in another mansion again, which was not also his house, and he reached out to the TV company and they delivered the TV to him. When they arrived, he dropped Justin Bieber's name again. He told them he was the best friend of Justin Bieber, blah blah blah, his usual lies. And when it was time to make payment, he dropped a small down payment and promised to pay up on credit. He also promised them that he could get his close friend Justin Bieber to do a commercial for them, and these guys believed him. And when the company called for his balance, he gave them several excuses. Sometimes he would tell them to come over the house and get the balance, and when they get to the house, he will not open the door. And this goes on for several months. Eventually, the TV company realized that they have been scammed. So they filed a lawsuit against him. And that single lawsuit opened door for several lawsuits because they've been doing this for a very long time. They apparently scammed jewelers over $1 million and other things like expensive bag and a car worth $160,000. Now they are in trouble. The police got involved, and in 2024, the SWAT team raided his house and they started taking all his stuffs away. They took his cars, his house and everything, and they arrested his mother. Then they went to his show when he was performing and waited for him to get off the stage, and they arrested him too. Now you wonder, why did they arrest the mother? Well, let me take you back a little. They say behind every great man is a strong woman. Sean Kingston always talk about how much he loved his mother. In many interviews, you will see him smile and say, "My mother is everything to me." He would post her pictures online calling her queen, ride or die, and many sweet names. But that love story took a strange turn in 2014 when the FBI agent raided Sean Kingston's Florida mansion, seizing his luxury item like the $150,000 TV, expensive jewelries, and even the music studio equipment. At first, people thought it was Sean's doing. Maybe he just got his mother into trouble. But what shocked everyone was the police arrested his mother too. His beloved mother was not just at the house. She was named as a part of the investigation. Soon, the documents began to show something dark, that Sean Kingston and his mother had been working together to scam people by pretending to be richer and more successful than they really were. Janice Turner is not just Sean's mom. She's also someone with a criminal past. Yes, years ago, she was charged and sent to prison for bank fraud. That is not just a rumor. It's a fact backed by court record. So when the news of the scandal broke, people began asking, wait, is history repeating itself? Did she cheat her son the game, or her son drag her into it? But in reality, Janice never really left her whole life. She simply found a smarter way to keep scamming people by using her famous son as a front. And if you think about it, the signs were there. Sean was always showing off big things online, cars, watches, and houses. But behind the scenes, many of these things were not fully paid for. Some were rented or taken on false promises. And when the deals went wrong, it was Janice's name that kept coming up in the complaint. A jeweler said she gave him diamonds on credit but never got the money back. A car dealer said Janice came with Sean, looked him in the eyes and promised full payments, only for the money never to arrive. The pattern kept repeating. Janice would work with these people like a sweet, kind, God-fearing mother. She would say things like, "We are blessed and highly favored. Money is not our problem." But then when the deal was done, the people will be left with nothing but fake checks and broken promises. Now here is the scary part. Sean Kingston wasn't even the mastermind. Janice was the one planning the whole thing. One source told the police that, "You don't understand. It's the mom who handled the paperwork, the person who supplied the fake check and made the promises." The more you try to defend them, the harder it becomes. There were too many lies, too many missing payments, and too many victims. You don't accidentally scam people multiple times over several years. That is a plan. In July 2025, Sean Kingston's mother had a sentence, 20 years in prison. For a 60-year-old woman with health issue, that is a potential life sentence. She begged the court saying, "I'm sorry. My intention was to keep my son afloat in this difficult music industry. They used him and abused him. I'm begging for mercy for me and my son." But the judge wasn't moved by her emotion. Sean Kingston is yet to be sentenced, but he is still held up in prison. Prosecutors are requesting 5 to 6 years sentence for Sean Kingston, which will potentially end his music career. What happened to Sean Kingston is a lesson for all of us. Don't let pride and quick success blind you. Stay humble. Choose your friends carefully. One wrong step can lead to a fall that will never stand up again. Finally, be content. A shortcut to success will one day cut your life short. If you love stories like this, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell button so you don't miss other amazing stories like this one. And if you want more fame and follower stories, check the link in the description for the playlist. Thank you for watching.